Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Traditional Egg 5010. Am I the beehole for not agreeing to my mom's husband adopting me so my brother will agree? My brother, a 13-year-old male, and I, a 16-year-old male, lost our dad 10 years ago. Mom got married to Jared 6 years ago. And after like a year, my mom asked us if we'd be okay with Jared adopting us, and maybe changing our last names to his, or adding a hyphenated last name. I said no, and my brother followed. My mom decided we should discuss it some more in family therapy, and we went for a few months, and then we had no therapy. When stuff closed down. And then, when we returned, in office therapy was back on the table. Throughout the stay, in a place of order, my mom would ask us about our feelings, and we were more open to the idea. Recently, my mom decided to try to divide and conquer way since the therapist mentioned that my brother said no because I was. She tried talking to my brother and he was adamant that he would say no as long as I'm saying no. Mom then sat me down and asked me why I was saying no. She told me I had a few very practical reasons to want the adoption to happen, including protection for us if she were to die, so we could stay with her husband. I asked her if that was because she knew I would want my extended family to fight for custody and to live with them, but because she doesn't like them, she wouldn't want that, and she knew my decision would carry some weight. Unless I was adopted first. She denied it initially, but then said yes, then asked me why I was against the adoption. I told her I didn't want another legal dad and did not want the protection of being adopted would offer. She then told me about my brother saying no because I'm saying no, and she wanted me to agree so he would change his mind. I told her that wouldn't happen and nothing she says will change my mind. She asked me to at least encourage him to be adopted, and I told her I would not. I did speak to my brother anyway, and he said he didn't want to if I'm not, and it would feel weird to him being adopted by Jared when I'm not. He doesn't remember our dad, so the attachment isn't the reason for him being like this. It's for me. I told him I wouldn't be mad at him if he said yeah. He said he knew, but then still. Mom and Jared sat me down and asked me again to say yes, so he could adopt my brother, and once again, I said no. Mom started to cry, and she got really angry with me. Jared said I was the age where I could be more mature and compassionate on this. He told me I might not love him, but surely I don't hate him. So much that I would rather end up in foster care than in his care if Mom died. He also said I'm putting my brother at risk. Am I the beehole? Hi OP, I'm gonna go with you're not the beehole. This one's a weird one. What would adopting do to keep you with him if something happened to your mom? And why is your mom talking about all this doom and gloom? That's really annoying. Um, I'm not the authority on this, but I'm pretty sure a judge isn't going to chuck you into foster care when you have someone who's willing to take care of you, who you've been living with. I don't know why they're so hell-bent on getting you to take his last name. Is it one of those things where they want you to forget your father or something like that? And I also think it's pretty gross how they're trying to manipulate you and use you to manipulate your brother. And what kind of therapy is that where the therapist is telling your mother what your brother said to her in private? Isn't that against the whole therapist thing? Also, your brother's pretty grown. He's at the point where he, comprehend all these things. He can make a decision on his own. He's free to say yes or say no. It's gross how they're trying to use you against your brother like that. And if your mom is so worried about the future like that, why doesn't she just have a will wrote up so so you and your brother are safe? You don't need to do this whole adoption thing. It personally, OP, it smells and sounds fishy to me. I would keep saying no if I were in your shoes. So yeah, not the beehole. And our next one comes from SKVVL1L. Am I the beehole for kicking my stepsister out for stealing my money to buy stuff for her son? I, a 20-year-old female, am married to my now husband, a 20-year-old male. We have two children together, both female twins. My stepsister, an age 26-year-old female, has been in their life ever since they were born, and has been a huge help until she got a boyfriend, who got her pregnant. She recently gave birth to her son, and her boyfriend and her broke up soon after co-parenting their newborn son. She still has been living with us, and it's been no problem. Soon I realize money from the nightstand in my bedroom has been disappearing. I never left huge amounts of money in there, just in case. My sister has been buying her son very expensive things. She doesn't have a job, so I have been a little suspicious on how she's bought all of these items. Yes, I want the best for her and her son. I've asked her numerous times to get a job. And I can watch her son as I'm a stay at home mom. One day, more than just money disappeared. My iPad, my mother's necklace, and around 200 euros, and a watch went missing. That week, my sister came home with new baby clothes, toys, pampers, etc., etc. She was even wearing new clothes and accessories. I questioned her about my items, and she denied and said she never took them. I was still a little suspicious, but decided to let it go, as I could easily replace those items. I decided to set up cameras around my house in case she had been taking my things. I was showering, and my husband was at work, and stepsister was watching the kids. I leave the bathroom to see my room in a mess. My dresser had been gone through, my nightstand was left open, and everything was missing. I immediately went to my stepsister and asked her about my missing items, and she continued denying. I told her I was going to check the cameras, and her face went pale. I pulled out my phone and reviewed the footage to see my sister entering my room and leaving minutes out later with a lot of my missing items. She screamed in my face and said it was her only source of income, and she shouldn't have to steal these things. Instead, they should be given to her, as she's been a huge help and needs the money for her son. I told her to give me back all my things or I will get the cops involved. She said no, as she needs the money, so I told her to get her son and leave my house. She went to our father's house with my stepmother. They've been blowing up my phone, calling me a selfish beehole for not helping her with money, as she cannot afford to buy things for her son, and my husband makes plenty, so I should help her. So am I the beehole in this situation? OP, you shouldn't even have to ask this, and I shouldn't even have to tell you this. No, you are not the beehole in your situation. She's stealing from you. I despise a thief. You did the right thing by kicking her out, and she's using her son to justify stealing. She's okay. First of all, sounds like you're being very generous. You're letting her live rent free in your home, which sounds like you guys make money, so it's probably a nice home, and she has a lot of space to, move around. And you're letting her stay there with her newborn child. So I know that child's crying and probably waking you guys up, which is still, it's really nice of you guys putting up with that. And on top of that, if she got a job, you'd be willing to take care of her newborn child. Not many people would do that. So, in my eyes, you guys are kind of saints right now. And she still has the audacity to steal from you and try to justify it and say she's in the right and you're in the wrong, and she should be allowed to take your things and sell it because she has a child or some crap. Holy hell, no. Kick her out. What is she, a narcissist? She's an everything this. She's trying to justify being a thief. And then I guess we can see where she got her terrible attitude and all that from her crappy family over here trying to call you the beehole for not helping her and not giving her the money. She's not owed your money. You guys are being insanely generous to her. OP, you are not the beehole. Make sure that woman never enters your home again because she's a thief. And go no contact with her family because they are also not great people. The only thing I think, maybe, I don't think it's this, but maybe she spun the story to make it look like she's the good guy and you did nothing for her. That could be it, but I'm gonna go with, I think her family's just a bunch of pricks. Yeah, OP, not the beehole. Do not let her back in your home. Oh, also, call the cops. Get the cops involved. If you didn't know her and she was some random person who snuck into your home and stole your stuff, you would call the cops. Call the cops, OP. She needs to learn her lesson, and who cares what happens to her? She did this herself, so call the cops. Call the cops. Oh, and the funny thing is, from what it sounds like in the story, you guys are really nice and kind to her. I bet if she went to you guys and be like, hey, my baby needs food or clothes, something to, help the baby, you guys would probably give her the money for that. Now, she's probably pissed because she can't buy things for herself. Like you said, she's been buying accessories and whatnot for her. Yeah, OP, get the cops involved. She needs to learn her actions have consequences. And our next one comes from Horror Respect 6507. Am I the beehole for refusing to beg for an invite to my stepsister's wedding? Stepsister's dad married my mom when we were 7, me, and her 6. I never knew my parents together. From what I was made aware of, they had a very brief relationship, and I was the result. I have a sister from my dad who is 3 years older than me. No siblings on my mom's side. My parents shared custody of me during my childhood, but I always preferred my dad's house. I was always closer to dad than to mom, and I always loved being around my sister. My stepsister used to adore me and think we were sisters and BFFs forever. She had no siblings, so to her, I was that sibling. We were about 14 and 15 when she found out I didn't feel the same way about her. She read my homework one night, and I had to write a personal piece from a topic of choices. The choices were basically different family members / relationship types, and I went with siblings. She was really upset after learning I didn't consider her one of my siblings, and never did. She stopped being so into me after that, which wasn't a big deal to me. She grew more resentful of me when we were in our early 20s because I moved into an apartment with my sister, which she had learned about from my mom. The few times I saw her after that, she was always very snarky when asking if I liked having a sister that much, and how nice it must be to be loved back. My stepsister is now getting married, and she didn't send me an invite. It upset my mom and her husband a lot, and they asked why. And she told them, I'm not her sister. I don't give a crap about her. And she doesn't want me there. My mom told me I should ask her for an invite, and beg if I have to. She told me otherwise it would look so awful, like we're not a family. I refused. Mom said I should be upset to miss out on her big day, and I clearly told her I did not care. Mom said I should, and I should be willing to do this for her, if nothing else. Am I the beehole? ETA. The homework I wrote was not about my stepsister. It was about my sister, but I said I had one sibling, my sister, which is how my stepsister realized how I felt, or how I didn't see her, and my stepsister took it out of my backpack. It was not left lying around where she could easily find it. Okay, this is a tough one. I'm looking at the Reddit comments, and a lot of them are saying you're not the beehole, but I think I'm gonna go with you're the beehole. It sounds like she's been really nice to you when you were growing up, and she just wanted a sister. Doesn't sound like she was being rude or mean or anything like that from what I've seen in the story. Um, yeah, it just sounds like you're the beehole. Why don't you want to be sisters with her? I mean, she's your stepsister. Why not? She sounds like she's being lovely to you. And maybe her slightly the beehole because she shouldn't have gone rooting around in your backpack, but I still don't see why you're being this way to her. And I completely get where she's coming from. You don't see her as a sister, and I understand why she wouldn't want you at the wedding. I think I'm gonna go with your mom is also the beehole too. Less than you. I think you still are at the top. Trying to force you to go to the wedding like that and forcing you to beg. You shouldn't have to beg if you don't want to, don't want to go to the wedding and you're not invited. You shouldn't have to do that. But still, why? Why, OP? I don't get it. Why don't you see her as your sister? She just wanted to have a relationship with you and you just went, no. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, you're the beehole, and I think everybody else is a little bit of a beehole, except for the stepsister, man. It sounds like she just wanted to have a sister. Yeah, good luck with that, OP. And our final one comes from overall Candy4513. Am I the beehole for not continuing my reception after my husband went behind my back? My now husband, Lucas, age 26, and I, female, age 25, were getting married. We decided to tie the knot as we were having a little girl together and are madly in love. So leading up to the wedding day, Lucas told me that his best man, Jacob, wanted to propose to his girlfriend as it would be a great time as it's a nice venue to do it at. I said that I didn't want him to propose at our wedding as it's our special moment, not theirs. They can do it sometime else. Lucas told me that his friend was mad that I didn't agree. I just wanted the wedding to be about us because it was our special day. After that disagreement, I thought nothing of it. Fast forward to my wedding day. We had finished the church service, and now we're at the reception. We're all having fun eating. I'm eating my food, and then Jacob stops the music at the DJ booth to make an announcement. I just knew from that moment he was going to propose. I looked to see where Lucas was, and he was holding red and white roses, walking out to the stand in front of Joel, Jacob's girlfriend, spelling out, "Will you marry me?" I was shocked that they went behind my back when I said no. I got up out of my seat and walked out. It's been 2 days since the wedding. And my husband cursed me. What? He cursed you out. Okay, cursed me out for not letting them have a special moment. I responded with, "I wanted the day to be about us because that's our wedding, not theirs." And I'm happy for them. But the worst thing was, even though I said no, you went behind my back about it. Since that argument, he moved into the guest bedroom, and now most of my friends are cursing me out on all my socials. Am I the beehole? Hi, OP. You are not the beehole. This is an easy not the beehole. I'm not even a wedding guy, but I know you don't propose at someone's wedding or propose after someone's proposed. In an area, let me get the easy thing out of the way. Your friends are not your friends. Cut them out. They should have understood that what they did was wrong. And it's even worse with your husband. Your husband chose his friend over you, and that tells you a lot, OP. You just got married, right? I would get it annulled. He went behind your back on day what, 1 of being married, and did something you told him not to do, like a child. And like a child, he cursed you out when you were rightfully angry for ruining your one day, your one special day. One thing I'm going to say is I'm very glad you didn't just sit there and go along with it and take it and you just left. Yeah, curse him out, leave. Those are options you could have taken. I think you've taken the best and the most adult one. I see some people suggesting therapy. Nah, this is day 1. You told him no. He should understand that it's your special day, and he shouldn't be, using having his cheapskate friend mooch off of you and use your venue to propose to his girlfriend. Get it annulled. It might hurt, but get it annulled. He showed you who he was day 1 of being married. He couldn't even let you guys get to the honeymoon before ruining it. Yeah, get it annulled. Get it annulled. He still thinks he's in the right too, because he cursed you out and dipped and went to the guest bedroom. Get it annulled, OP. It's not worth it. Like I said, he showed you who he was. He disrespected you, went against your wishes when you told him no. He should be able to understand that it is your special day. Get it annulled. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.